telling the story of a sultry summer afternoon. The sun hung lazily in the sky, casting a warm golden hue across the quiet house. The familiar chirping of birds drifted through the open windows, mingling with the laughter from the backyard, where a gentle breeze rustled the leaves. Inside, the atmosphere was charged with an unspoken tension. Leo, the younger brother, was sprawled across the couch in the living room, engrossed in a video game. His fingers flew across the controller, completely absorbed in a world of fantasy and adventure. Just then, the front door swung open, and Mia, his elder sister, stepped inside, her hair slightly damp from the heat outside. She was dressed casually in a flowing sundress that highlighted her sun-kissed skin. "Hey gamer," she called, a playful smile lighting up her face. "How's the quest going?" "Pretty epic," Leo replied without looking up, his focus still on the screen. "But I'm about to lose if I don't beat this boss." Mia flopped down beside him, her presence bringing a warmth that Leo couldn't ignore. "Maybe I can help." "What's the strategy?" "Just distract them while I hit the weak spot," he said, finally glancing at her. The sight of her so close sent a flutter through him, a feeling he couldn't quite place. "Let's do it," she cheered, and together they strategized. Their laughter echoed off the walls, and for a moment, everything felt perfect. As the game intensified, so did the atmosphere around them. Mia leaned in closer, her shoulder brushing against Leo's. The contact sent a rush of warmth through him, and he found it increasingly hard to concentrate on the game. He was acutely aware of her presence, the way her hair smelled like fresh flowers and the softness of her skin. After a few more minutes of play, Leo finally won the battle. "Yes! We did it," he shouted, pumping his fist in victory. Mia laughed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "See? I told you I could help," she said, nudging him playfully. "You're my secret weapon," he replied, his heart racing at the closeness of their bodies. As the adrenaline faded, the air around them shifted. Mia's laughter faded into a soft smile, and Leo felt the pull of something deeper. They had always shared a close bond, but today felt different, charged with an energy that made his skin tingle. "Want to watch a movie?" Mia suggested, breaking the momentary silence. "I could go for something funny." "Sure, what do you want to watch?" he asked, trying to shake off the strange feelings. After scrolling through their streaming options, they settled on a light-hearted romantic comedy. The two of them got comfortable, Leo leaning back while Mia tucked her legs under her. As the movie started, he tried to focus on the screen, but his thoughts kept drifting to her, how close they were, the warmth radiating from her body, and the way her laughter made him feel alive. Halfway through the movie, Mia got up to grab some popcorn. "Want anything to drink?" she asked over her shoulder. "Just water is fine," Leo replied, his eyes still glued to the screen. As she walked away, he couldn't help but admire the way her dress flowed with her movements, accentuating her curves. It was a sight that sent a rush of warmth through him. When she returned, the popcorn bowl cradled in her arms, she plopped back down beside him, their shoulders brushing together. The movie played on, but their focus shifted from the screen to each other. "You know," Mia said thoughtfully, munching on popcorn, "we should do more things together. It feels like we hardly hang out anymore." "I agree," Leo replied, his heart pounding at the idea of spending more time alone with her. "I've missed our time together." As the movie unfolded, the banter continued. They shared stories, laughter bubbling over as they reminisced about their childhood. Tales of camping trips, the awkward moments of adolescence, and their dreams for the future. Leo felt himself becoming increasingly drawn to Mia, the way she animatedly spoke about her passions, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Remember that time we went camping and you screamed because you thought a bear was coming?" Mia teased, her laughter ringing out. "I was just being cautious." Leo shot back, laughing as well. "You know how scary the woods can be at night. Caution is fine, but you were ready to pack up and run," she said, giggling. They were lost in the moment, and Leo felt a warmth spread through him as he watched her. The tension between them felt different now, layered with something deeper. He was acutely aware of how much he valued her presence, not just as a sister but as someone he cared for profoundly. As the movie reached its climax, Leo found himself wanting to take a leap, to bridge the gap that had formed between them. He gathered his courage and leaned a bit closer, their knees brushing. "Mia, can I ask you something?" "Sure." "What's up?" she replied, turning to face him, her expression open and curious. "Have you ever felt different about someone you're really close to?" he asked, his heart pounding as he awaited her response. Mia's smile faltered slightly, and she bit her lip. "Different how? Like, more than just friends or siblings?" I mean, I feel something more with you, Leo confessed, his cheeks flushing. Mia's eyes widened, and for a moment, the world around them faded. Leo, she began, but the moment was interrupted as the movie's climactic scene played out in front of them, but neither of them was watching anymore. I don't want to ruin our relationship, but I can't ignore what I feel, he continued, his voice earnest. Mia was silent for a moment, her gaze searching his. I feel it too, she finally admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. Leo's heart raced. Really? Yes, she confirmed, a blush creeping onto her cheeks. I've been feeling this way for a while now but didn't know how to say it. Without thinking, Leo reached out, taking her hand in his. It was a simple gesture, but it felt monumental. I don't want to hide it anymore, he said, his thumb gently brushing against her skin. I want to explore this. Mia's breath hitched, and she looked down at their intertwined fingers. Me too, she whispered, her heart pounding in rhythm with his. With their emotions laid bare, the room seemed to charge with electricity. Leo leaned in slowly, searching her eyes for any sign of hesitation. Finding none, he closed the distance between them, their lips meeting softly at first. The kiss felt electric, igniting a fire within both of them. As they pulled away, Leo gazed into her eyes, searching for confirmation. Are you sure about this? He asked, his voice laced with concern. Mia nodded, her cheeks flushed. I've never been more sure of anything. With that affirmation, they kissed again, this time deeper, the world around them fading away. It was as if everything they had ever felt for each other culminated in that moment. A mix of friendship, admiration, and a burgeoning love that felt intoxicating. As they kissed, Leo wrapped his arms around her, pulling her closer. The kiss deepened, filled with a longing that had been building for what felt like an eternity. Their hands explored as they surrendered to the moment, the thrill of their connection enveloping them. Wow, Mia breathed as they broke apart for a moment, their foreheads resting against each other. This is amazing. Yeah, Leo replied, feeling a warmth spread through him. I didn't know it could feel like this. Mia giggled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Neither did I. They leaned in again, lost in each other, the kisses growing more passionate, filled with a sense of urgency. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the room in soft twilight, they moved closer, their bodies fitting together like pieces of a puzzle. I've wanted to do this for so long, Leo murmured, tracing his fingers along her jawline, his heart racing. Me too, Mia confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. I just didn't know how to bring it up. I'm glad we finally did, Leo said, kissing her again. Each kiss felt like a promise, a commitment to exploring this new territory together. The heat of the moment enveloped them, and as their kisses grew more fervent, Leo felt an overwhelming sense of joy. Their hands roamed freely, exploring the warmth of each other's bodies, the air thick with unspoken words and shared desires. Mia's fingers tangled in Leo's hair, pulling him closer as they lost themselves in each other. The world outside ceased to exist, leaving only the two of them, two souls intertwined in a dance of discovery. After what felt like hours, they finally pulled away, breathless and exhilarated. This feels so right, Mia said, her cheeks flushed with happiness. I know, Leo replied, grinning widely. I never imagined we'd get to this point. Mia giggled, her laughter infectious. Neither did I, but I'm so glad we did. With their hearts racing, they settled into a comfortable silence, enjoying the newfound intimacy that hung in the air between them. The living room was now bathed in soft shadows, creating a cozy atmosphere that felt perfect for their deepening connection. As the credits of the movie rolled in the background, Mia turned to Leo, a playful glint in her eyes. What's next for us then? She asked, her tone light but her gaze serious. Leo smiled, taking her hand again. I guess we just take it one step at a time. I want to know everything about you, the way you think, what you love, what makes you happy. Mia's heart swelled at his words. And I want to know the same about you, she replied, her voice soft. I've always admired you, Leo. You're more than just my brother, you're my best friend. Same here, he said, squeezing her hand gently. I never want to lose that. With their hands still intertwined, they began to share more about their dreams and aspirations. Leo talked about his passion for art, revealing sketches he had tucked away in a drawer, while Mia shared her ambitions of becoming a writer, her dreams woven with tales of adventure and romance. I always thought I'd write a novel one day, Mia said, her eyes shining with excitement. Maybe a love story set in a magical world. What do you think? I think that sounds incredible. I'd read that. Leo exclaimed, his enthusiasm contagious. You have such a way with words, and your imagination is limitless. Mia beamed at his encouragement. Thanks. I just hope it's as good as the stories I read. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, the bond between them growing stronger with each shared moment. They found themselves laughing more, teasing each other playfully, and sharing secrets they had never disclosed before. The comfortable familiarity of their sibling relationship was transforming into something much deeper and more profound. As the evening wore on, Mia leaned back against the couch, her head resting against Leo's shoulder. The warmth of his body was reassuring, and the steady rhythm of his heartbeat beneath her ear felt like a soothing lullaby. Do you think it's strange that we feel this way about each other? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Leo contemplated for a moment, running his fingers through her hair. I think it's beautiful. It's rare to find someone you can connect with on so many levels. I wouldn't trade this for anything. Mia smiled at his response, feeling a sense of relief wash over her. I'm glad you think that. I was worried it would ruin everything. Nothing can ruin this, Leo reassured her, tilting her chin up so their eyes met. We're still us. We're just more. With that, their lips met again, slower this time, savoring the moment. Each kiss deepened their connection, a promise of shared experiences yet to come. Mia's fingers danced along his arm, exploring the muscles beneath his shirt as she lost herself in the sensation of being so close to him. Breaking the kiss, she playfully nudged him. So, are we officially a couple now? I'd like to think so, Leo replied, a mischievous grin spreading across his face. I mean, we did just have our first official kiss. Mia laughed, her heart soaring. Okay then, Mr. Couple. What's the first thing we should do together? Well, how about we plan a special day? Leo suggested, excitement bubbling within him. Just the two of us, doing whatever we want. Sounds perfect, she said, her eyes lighting up. Let's make it a day to remember. They spent the next hour brainstorming their perfect day together, filled with laughter and shared dreams. They talked about visiting the beach, going for a hike in the nearby hills, or even having a picnic under the stars. Every idea felt magical, each one weaving their lives together even more tightly. As their plans took shape, the atmosphere shifted again, becoming charged with anticipation. The weight of their new relationship hung deliciously in the air, creating a thrilling sense of possibility. Mia leaned closer, her voice low and inviting. What if we don't just stop at kisses? What if we take it further? Leo's heart raced at her words, and he searched her gaze for any signs of hesitation. Are you sure? I mean, this is all new territory for us, he replied, a mix of excitement and nervousness coursing through him. I am sure, she said, her voice steady. I want to explore this with you, Leo. I want to be with you completely. The gravity of her words sent a rush through him. Then let's take it slow together, he replied, feeling emboldened. We can figure it out as we go. With that, they sealed their promise with another kiss, deeper and more passionate than before. As they embraced, the world around them faded away once again, leaving only the two of them in their private universe. They explored each other's bodies, their kisses igniting a fire within them that they had never felt before. Mia's hands roamed across Leo's back, pulling him closer as he deepened the kiss, their bodies fitting perfectly together. Wow, Leo breathed as they pulled away, his cheeks flushed with a mixture of excitement and shyness. Yeah, Mia echoed, her voice breathless. I didn't know it could feel like that. Me neither, he admitted, a smile tugging at his lips. But I'm glad we took that step. Me too, she said softly, her eyes sparkling with joy. This feels right. As the night stretched on, they continued to explore this new chapter in their relationship, taking the time to learn each other's boundaries, desires, and dreams. Each shared kiss, each soft touch, was a testament to their growing connection, deepening their bond as they navigated this uncharted territory together. Eventually, they decided to take a break, retreating to the kitchen for a glass of water. The air was filled with laughter and lightness, a stark contrast to the intensity of the moments they had just shared. Do you think we should tell anyone about us? Mia asked as they leaned against the counter, their fingers still intertwined. I think we should keep it just between us for now, Leo replied, considering her question. I want to make sure we're ready before we involve anyone else. Agreed, Mia said with a nod. Let's make sure this is solid before we share it with the world. They spent the rest of the evening talking and laughing, the intimacy between them now woven into the very fabric of their lives. The sun had fully set, casting a gentle glow through the windows as they continued to explore their connection. As the clock ticked past midnight, Leo glanced at Mia, a thought suddenly striking him. I can't believe our parents are still out. What if they come back soon? Let them find us. We're just hanging out, she laughed, but Leo could see the glimmer of mischief in her eyes. Mia, we're not just hanging out anymore, he said, a teasing smile spreading across his face. We're in a relationship now. Okay, you got me there, she giggled, her cheeks flushing. But seriously, it feels like the best secret ever. It does, Leo agreed, his heart swelling with happiness. And I want to make sure we enjoy every moment of it. With that, they decided to retreat to the living room once more, cuddling together on the couch as the night wore on. They turned on some soft music, letting the soothing melodies wash over them. As they settled in, Mia rested her head against Leo's shoulder, feeling content and safe. Leo, she whispered after a few moments of comfortable silence. Yeah, he replied, turning to look at her. Promise me we'll always talk about how we feel, no matter what happens, she said earnestly. I promise, he replied, meaning every word. Communication is key. I never want us to hide anything from each other. Good, Mia smiled, her heart swelling with affection for him. I feel like we can face anything together. With that, they shared one last sweet kiss before settling in for the night, knowing that their lives had just taken a beautiful turn. They fell asleep wrapped in each other's arms, dreaming of the endless possibilities that lay ahead, together. As dawn broke the next day, casting golden rays through the window, Leo woke first, the warmth of Mia's body beside him filling him with a sense of peace. He couldn't help but smile, thinking about how their relationship had blossomed so unexpectedly. Mia stirred beside him, her eyes fluttering open as she smiled sleepily at him. Good morning, sleepyhead, she said, her voice still thick with sleep. Good morning, he replied, feeling a surge of happiness. I hope you're ready for a day full of adventures. Absolutely, she exclaimed, stretching her arms above her head. What do you have in mind? We could start with breakfast and then head to the beach, maybe? Leo suggested, excitement bubbling within him. Sounds perfect, Mia said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Let's make it a day to remember. As they got up to prepare for the day, Leo felt a sense of certainty settle in his heart. They were embarking on a new journey together, filled with love, laughter, and the promise of shared adventures. And he couldn't wait to see where it would lead them.